Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a great one. Thank you as always for being here, and I hope that you're having a lovely one out there. It is time to dive into our Long Song Saturday schedule for November. The year is almost over. We are very much nearing the end of the year. And as a matter of fact, as we lean and lead into our final schedule for November, I'm also going to do a small P.O. Box unboxing as well at the same time. This will be the last official Long Song Saturday month, and it's not even going to be the full month. There's just a lot happening, obviously, with my son being born, so I'm giving a little bit more time, perhaps, obviously, to that. So, I have 3 Long Song Saturdays for you for the month of November. There may be, listen, here's what I'm getting out for Long Song Saturdays, in which I usually do album listens and such. Actually, I'm going to pull something up on screen to show you at the same time, because it's actually perfectly captures what I'm trying to say as well. So a while ago, a month or two ago, I actually put up a poll on my channel asking you guys for Long Song Saturdays, did you have a preference of for Saturdays, if you had a preference of actual full album reactions or a Long Song Saturday, or do you just prefer 2 reaction videos daily, of which I've been doing more as of recently? If you don't, it's going to spoil the schedule if I show you. I'll show you the poll in a second, but it was 50-50. 50% of you said, I like the Long Song Saturdays with the long song or an album listen. The other 50% said, just give us 2 reaction videos a day. I'll show you that in a second, though, after we go over the albums. So officially after November and kind of partway through November, officially the Long Song Saturdays will be officially done with. But I still plan to do full album reactions. I still plan to do long songs and things that I would normally do on a Long Song Saturday. I'm just not going to officially do them or set them in stone to where, okay, if I say I'm doing these albums, I have to find time to do these albums, because it's much easier for me to carve out a portion of 10 to 30 minutes or so to record individual songs, rather than carving out an hour or 2 hours or however long to do a full album. It's just not feasible at this particular time. But I am still going to do full album reactions. So don't worry that those are done away with, because they're not. I won't have them being consistent every single Saturday. But you will see them pop up. All right. Now, we got 3 weekends of Long Song Saturdays. We have 2 albums, and then 1 long song. One of them could be considered the same, actually, as a matter of fact. Okay. For the first weekend, the first Saturday in November, we are going to listen to this full album. We've listened to 1 song from this album, and now I'm diving into the full thing. 12th studio album by this singer-songwriter. Released 1995, genres of avant-garde, experimental, and industrial. Some of you had mentioned this track and suggested. Let's see. Mr. P. Boys. David Emery, did you recommend this one? Actually, I don't think you did. Let me take your name off the list. Maggots 1211, James Warner, Sheldon Howells, Dai Kulanane, Iga Penala. Hold on, I got some of you. Richard Colesberg. Can't even say that name. Corin Pinen, Edward Meredith, Eduardo Ferreira, Dryank. There's been a lot of you. There's a lot of you that recommended this particular album. And even if you didn't recommend it, you at least mentioned it, because that's all I got to go off of. We're going to listen to the album Tilt by Scott Walker. We've done the first track, and now we're diving on into the full thing. The next album we're going to check out is probably one of the highest requested albums on the channel since its inception, since the beginning. That's guaranteed. We're going to listen to this 13th studio album, and it's 1 single long song, 1990. Genres of instrumental rock, progressive rock, experimental rock, and world music. It's 1 hour long. Some of you already know what this one is going to be. Recommended by, like I said, many of you. Iga Penala, Riradio Visual Median, Knopfler's God, Adher, Martin Davies, Jonesy Wales. This is probably the most requested album at this point on the channel. Rod Bovert, Captain's Channel, Lee Guevara, Silber. Ooh, Frank. It goes on. This one just a lot of people have recommended. And like I said, you already know probably what this one is. Mike Oldfield. It's time. for I'm a Rock. I'm a rock. Are you gonna rock?
Please clap.
It is finally time. It is finally time. And that will be coming up on the second Saturday of the month on the 8th. And then for our final official Long Song Saturday in November, which, like I said, there may be more there will be more in the future. There's no doubt about that. Just not going to be held to it or held to a specific schedule. We're going to listen to this long song from this band. We'll listen to an album from this band and a song here or there. First album from this band, 1978, genres of jazz fusion, progressive rock, and avant-garde. A lot of avant-garde in the month of November. It's also the first track on this album, being suggested by Canterbury Night, appropriately named Claude Proust, Ken L., Black Cat Century Music, Juan Araiko, Colin Donington, Italium, Rolling Ronnie, Don't Roll Too Far, Eric DuPont, Michael Grossman, Tin Top, Ithalium, SD Goals. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. We are listening to Tenemos Roads by National Health from their self-titled album and first album, National Health. And now that I got that off the screen, now I can show you. Here's the vote. Now I can show you. Here's the votes. You know, do you prefer more long song Saturdays or 2 reaction videos daily? It was pretty much perfectly split in there. So thank you guys so much as always for the support and everything. I really appreciate that. Speaking of thanking you and support, I'm now going to open this package that was sent to me to my P.O. box from the Sandoval family. Thank you guys so much for sending this over. And I hope that there's something in the schedule that you're looking forward to, something that'll tickle your fancy a little bit. I tried to, I said as the end of the official Long Song Saturdays, I wanted to get some of the highly requested albums and songs and things out there. So hence Amarok and Tenemos Roads. Scott Walker was for me. Every once in a while, got to do something for myself. We have at least 2 albums here and a card from the family. Thank you guys. I always appreciate you guys sending cards and things here. So we have 2 albums. Eddie and the Cruisers, original motion picture soundtrack. I've never heard of Eddie and the Cruisers. Original music by John Cafferty, performed by Beaver Brown. Oh, that's a car on the side. I couldn't tell what that was on the vinyl on the record there. They're in a car. Is it a car? Yeah, that's a car. Trying to see what's down there. Okay, so I would assume that this is jazz. I see one gentleman with a saxophone. One's holding some drumsticks. I would assume that this is going to be jazz. These look like some cool. These look some cool cats. Come on, they're just aura farming there. Kenny Vance, lead vocal, saxophone, guitar, drums, piano, bass. You can't tell me that this isn't jazz. Or I could be completely wrong. I could be 100% wrong. Eddie and the Cruisers. And then Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. You know, we haven't really exposed ourselves to Miss Jett, really, like, at all. One of those names that obviously, you know, I know, and I couldn't think of, like, her most well-known song off the top of my head, but I know it's one I probably know. But I love the band name and the Blackhearts. Now that's rock and roll. That is absolutely rock and roll. Come on, there you go. You can't get more stylistic than that. Kind of surprising, right? There's certain bands and artists that, you know, are very well known and their name precedes them, their reputation precedes them, but I haven't explored them or heard much of them myself. And Miss Jett is absolutely one of them. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for sending. I'm curious about Eddie and the Cruisers. Thank you so much for sending these over. I appreciate it. Sandoval family. Thank you guys always for everything you guys do and send over. Eddie and the Cruisers. 1983 film. Just pulling up the Wikipedia here. 1983 American musical drama film directed by Martin Davidson. I've never heard. You know, there's a lot of movies I've heard of, but I've never seen. Which, by the way, speaking of which, I'm trying to get back into reading, and I'd like to read like the classics, so to speak. So I actually just got Moby Dick. I've never read it, so I just got that. Just came in today, actually. So I'm going to read that as I watch Liam when I can. But yeah, I've never heard of this movie. But is the soundtrack, is it jazz or is it going to be rock and roll? Because it kind of looks, now it's kind of looking a little more rock to me. Production, shooting, soundtrack. Okay. Vance asked Davidson to describe his fictitious band and his music. Initially, Davidson the crown like Dion and the Belmonts. Never heard of them. But they have elements of Jim Morrison and the Doors. Essentially a Jersey bar band. When you thought of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, find someone who could produce music that contained elements of these three bands. Jeez. That's quite the task. That's a Herculean task there. Looks like they found someone though. And it has some really good charting information. It says the main song in the film, On the Dark Side, was the #1 song in the country on Billboard's mainstream rock. Maybe we'll have to check out that one at least. And Tender Years as well. Thank you guys so much for sending this over. Thank you guys so much for watching and everything. I appreciate it so much. And I hope that there's something in the Long Song Saturday that's, getting your attention, or hopefully it's something in there to look forward to. That's why I did the War of the Worlds as well. I was trying to get those bigger albums that have been very much highly asked for and highly requested for. Try to fit them in the schedule before the schedule was, unofficial, basically. So really appreciate you all. Hopefully there's something in there for you. Like I said, this is not the end of album listens. You'll still see them. They'll just be surprises. They'll just be surprises rather than it's coming. But thank you all so much. Hope that you're having a great one out there. Thank you as always for watching and showing up and sparing some of your time with me. And I will see you all later. Bye, guys.